Hi everyone, good afternoon, good evening. Sorry for keeping you all waiting. I hope we're happy to learn today. Can you all hear me? Good evening, everyone. All right. So before we dive in for what we are learning today, can one or two of us just talk about what we learned last week? Awesome. So can one or two of us just mention one or two things they learned last week? It's great to be here as well. Okay. Learned about UX writing, grids and layouts, beautiful. Okay, not just what you learned. What exactly did you learn about grids and layouts? What exactly did you learn about UX writing? Okay, beautiful. But you learned about voice chat. All right. What else? Balance, good. Okay, amazing. Amazing. All right, so today we're going to be talking. Yes, words have to be simple and complex. The user needs business goals. Users' needs and business goals must always align exactly. Because first of all, whatever we're creating is for the user, and if it doesn't align with the business goals, it doesn't like it's not needed and it's useless at the end of the day. All right, yes, vocabulary. All right, thank you very much. So today we're going to be talking about introduction to UI design. So I'm sure this like everybody, some people are excited. They've been waiting for this part of the whole training. So finally, we've reached the UI part, and the UI part is user interface. So now we're going to understand okay how to create UI. What is even UI? How does UI work? How do we create UI or how do we apply our knowledge of UI? How does UI and UX relate? What is better than which comes first? And then as we go along this week, we'll be learning on how to use Figma as well as how to brand, how colors affect design, how typography or font affect design, and we'll proceed from there. So I'm going to dive right in. All right. So now, introduction to UI. So does anyone want to tell me what UI is? Or maybe before that, let me just run through the agenda. So today we're going to be talking about what UI design is. We're going to be talking about the principles. I know, right? There are semi finally. We're going to be talking about what UI design is. We're going to be talking about the principles of UI design. We're going to be talking about UI elements. We're going to be talking about visual design. And then there's a short quiz at the end of the class. So this quiz might be two ways. Either I dictate the questions and we put our answers in the chat, or we actually use a quiz platform for that. All right, so let's get started. So, what exactly is UI design? Does anyone want to attempt before I define it? Okay, UI is user interface. Good. Is the interactive part of any application. All right. User interface. Is it just user interface? What is a user interface? It's not. It takes aesthetics of design. I won't say that. Okay. So let me just define it. My name is Oluwashikemi Adeyemo. It's right there. All right. So what is UI design? UI, which stands for user interface, user interface. So UI design is user interface design. is a type of design or it's design that focuses on the look and feel of a digital product interface, ensuring it is visually appealing and easy to use. So it's not just visually appealing, but it's also easy to use. So to clarify this more is, from the beginning of the class, we've been talking about, okay, we've been talking about what UI is, what UX is. We're talking about what a product is and who a product designer is. And we established that the product design we are doing is digital products, which is UI UX digital product design, not the shoe product design or the ketchup bottle product design, digital product design. So now, when we have a digital product, you cannot interact with the digital product without literally an interface. And this interface could be maybe on a phone screen, on a laptop, on a TV, on a maybe, what can I use now? On a billboard, interactive billboard, or could be anything. Could be a larger screen, could be a POS machine screen. So those are your interfaces basically, or those are mediums in which one can interface with a digital product. Yes, you can say it's silence announcer of your brand. I don't say that because it's not just that. UI interface is literally everything. So now the product is the solution the company is giving you. You as the user, you have a problem or you have a need. You want to achieve something. You want to let's use our WhatsApp example. You want to send a message. You can't send a message without having something to use to send the message. So what do we use to send a message? That is your WhatsApp. How do I use WhatsApp? I need a phone. How do I actually use WhatsApp on my phone? Then I need a UI interface of WhatsApp, which is the application. When I click on the app, I get to see the UI of WhatsApp, and based on the UX, I can now send a message. I hope that's clear. So the UI is literally what you interface with when you want to achieve a goal or when you want to solve your problem, basically. So, and then it is the look and feel of the digital product interface. So the product interface, this is the color, the text, the input, the everything that makes up the product basically. And it's not just that, it has to, apart from it even solving the problem, it has to be visually appealing, because if it's not visually appealing, I really have no reason to come back to it. I'll just use an alternative that I feel happier using. And then it has to be easy to use, because even though it looks good and I cannot use it, it defeats the purpose of why I got it in the first place. So it has to be visually appealing and easy to use. So let's move on to the next thing. So, what's good UI? Good UI is when a digital product is efficient and enjoyable for users. It's intuitive, efficient, and enjoyable for users. So, is an app I actually enjoy using. It gets the job done fast. I'm not having headache. I'm not like confused when I'm using the app. I actually understand what I'm doing. I don't have to start, okay, what's the tutorial on how to use the app? I don't have to start going on YouTube that, okay, how exactly do I send a message on WhatsApp? I can figure it out by the time I just glance through everything. That, okay, I know to send a message, there's a send button. Okay, send button is not missing. I know to call someone, there's a call icon. Okay, call icon is not missing. So it's straight to the point, and then it looks good. I'm not like seeing different colors and different things that I'm like, "Ah, why am I even using this thing?" And then it's enjoyable. I can say, oh, WhatsApp did a great job for sending messages. You can also use WhatsApp. So that's like when you said, okay, I have good UI. So good UI gets the job done. It's easy to use and it looks good. So intuitive, efficient, and enjoyable for users. So let's move on to the next slide. So now I think we've gone over this over and over and over, but I'll still go over this again. What is UI against UX? So UI refers to the visual elements and layouts that the users interact with, focusing on the aesthetics, the colors, the typography, and buttons. Like, what am I clicking? What am I touching? What am I looking at? What am I reading? While UX is more about the experience and the usability of a product, ensuring it meets the user needs and provides a smooth, efficient journey from start to finish. So, apart from the fact that I can see where to click, and I can see where to, I can see the words click here. The UX is what happens after I click here, what comes next. So that's the experience. What comes next is, okay, you have clicked here, wait a bit, or okay, the call is loading, or okay, your message has been sent, or sending a message happens after clicking here. So that's my experience. My experience after clicking the button click here is a message has been sent on WhatsApp, while the UI is the button itself that says click here. So I think that's the difference. I hope you understand what I mean. So UI is what you interact with, while UX is the experience interacting with the elements. And then in through the course of this learning, we'll dive a bit more into what visual elements are and things like that. So let's look at a real world example. Google. We all know, I mean, if you don't know Google, I don't know who you are or how you're here, or if you're on this earth. Don't mind me. I mean, a lot of people don't know Google. But yeah, let's take this example of Google. Let's look at the UI of Google. We can see the logo, obviously. Where are we? We're on Google. It communicates that. We can see where else search. So this is the search phase of Google. Where else search, we have the search icon, we have the let's say microphone, we have the picture. So if you don't want to write words, you can put in, like, you can use your voice, you can put up a picture that search using this picture, and then you have Google search. I'm feeling lucky. So now the difference between the UI and UX on this Google is this. The UX is, oh, I want a platform I can use to search for so many things. I can use to search for websites, or I could use to search for an information. I want something I can use my voice if I don't want to type, or I could use a picture if I cannot describe what I want to search for. I also want something that you can even give me recommendations. So it's not just like as I'm typing, maybe I don't even know what I'm typing. Maybe I heard the lyrics of a song. You can give me the remaining words of the song. So that's like in the drop down, or I'm feeling lucky type of thing. And that's the UX. Like that's the need. Let's start from, okay, that's the need. So the UX would be like, okay, so we need somewhere for them to actually put down what they want to search. We need somewhere for, or put down what they want to search, and then after putting down what they want to search, um also let them be able to use their voice to search. Then also let them be able to use an image to search. And because of the way Google is, you have Gmail, you have so many other applications of Gmail. Let it be easy to also link to those other applications or those other services that Google offers, like Google Drive, Google Slides. Let it be easy for them to go there, because they're literally on Google. They don't have to be lost that, oh, how do I log into my Gmail, or how do I view my Google Drive? There's an option for that apart from being able to search. Then the UI designer will now sit down and I'm like, how exactly can I represent all of these things, or how can I make it easy for them to understand what they are looking at, or even get the job done? Okay, I'll write everything down. There's the need for where they will input, okay, an input bar. There's a need to show their logo. Okay, let me just know where they'll show their logo. I'll just list everything that needs to be done. After listing it down, I'll now be like, okay, what next? How do I represent it? Okay, for search, we all know we use a search icon in a input field. For voice, this thing, we all know we use microphone. So now I'm applying icon elements, and then when I'm done with everything, when I press enter, enter should send. Or I think before Google had like a literal search button, but there's no need for that with advanced technology. You can literally just press your enter button and search. And then if you want to link to your Gmail, just at the upper right, you can see Gmail images, those let's say like a dot that forms a box that shows the other apps. You can see sign in. So as simple as this looks, this actually solves all the problems. And if you want to see the privacy terms and conditions settings, just look at the bottom. If you want to know about Google, or go to the Google store, just the top left. If you want to log in, top right. If you want to search, center. I see the way everything is aligned, and it looks blank at first, but when you start looking at it, like, this actually solves all my problem. And it would be bad UI if they start listing everything. Okay, maybe enter Google Gmail, enter Google Photos, enter Google Slides, search for picture here, search for voice here, search for text here, view settings here, view privacy here, view sign in here. Like it will be just so much cumbersome. Like I won't be confused that which one should I click, which one should I not click. But because whoever designed this has good UI knowledge, they're able to communicate, they're able to represent, and they're able to organize in a way where it's super easy. And I mean, even someone that is coming here for the first time will still be able to find their way around to get something done through Google. So that's a real world example. I hope we're all together and we're not confused. All right, so let's go to the next one. So just to let's say buttress my point in the previous one. So now the UI is where it's simple, it's clean, minimalist, the search bar, front and center. There's no distraction. Everything is just straight to the point. And then the experience is okay, they can find what they need. If they want to go log in, they can log in. If they want to search, they can search. If they want to use autocomplete or voice search, everything is there. Like just come in, do what you want, get out, straight to the point. So let's move on. So what are the principles of UI design? I know we're doing so much theory. Don't worry, this week we're going to start practical. So just stay with me, bear with me. It's going to be an amazing journey. So what are the principles of UI design? Let's start with, so there are six of them. Well, there could be so many. I mean, you see places you have 12, 10, 7, 8, so many. But I think these are the core principles of UI design. So first we have consistency, we have clarity, we have simplicity, we have feedback, we have accessibility, and we have visual design, visual hierarchy rather. So consistency, clarity, simplicity, accessibility, and visual hierarchy. So let me take each of them step by step. So let's start with consistency. So consistency, as the name says, literally consistency. But all right, so consistency is keeping design elements uniform throughout the interface to ensure a seamless user experience. It includes consistent color themes, fonts, button styles, and icons. So we'll still dive a bit more into these as we go. I think in the next class we'll get into okay, what are the steps of UI design as well as getting started with Figma. But for today, let's just deal with theories. So consistency, keeping design elements uniform throughout the interface to ensure a seamless user experience. Now imagine you come on, let's use WhatsApp again. I'm sure we've all seen the WhatsApp updates where everything just turned green. Imagine we now have green, purple, yellow, blue, rainbow, everything. Like everything is just there. And you're like, "Ah, are we still on WhatsApp? Or have Telegram and WhatsApp merged to become one company?" So that's the need for consistency. Then also how buttons are, you want the buttons to look the same. So you know that okay, this when I click this, like if I see anything that looks like this, I can click it. But if I see something that doesn't look like it, even though I can click it, I might not know I can click it because I'm already used to what I know to click since I've been on the app. I hope we're still together on this. So when we have three buttons, like take for example the example we have here. See the picture we have in the presentation. We have three buttons on the right. So we can see they're the same. Button one, button two, button three are the same. Perfect, amazing. Anytime I see this type of button, even though it says click me or send here or hello world, I know I can click it. But on the left, we have purple, we have pink, we have red. Even if all of them does the same action, I would be confused. Like number one, if they are different words, okay, maybe that might make sense, but I might not even know I can click it. I might think that oh, it's just a header. Like see my presentation, the header looks like a button, but it's a header, just a pink line. Even though it looks like a button, you can't click it. But on a website, it might be clickable. And because probably I'm not being consistent with it, even though I can click it, I might not know I can click it. And then I'll be like, oh, where is what I'm supposed to click on? and that's where his frustration comes in, or I just drop it and I don't want it, that type of thing. So you want consistency so you don't have your users confused. You want consistency so that they can actually use your app to get whatever they got your app for to do, like the goal is achieved. And then if now we're even using an example of, okay, there are different buttons meaning different things. What if they mean the same thing? So maybe all of them is send, send, send. The first one is send, okay. The second one is send. I might think it's a different send, or I might not relate. The third one in red that I send, I might even think that this send might be an error. Like if I press this one now, maybe to delete all the messages, even though the function is normal send. So that's where the importance of consistency comes in. So let's move to the next one. Clarity. For all questions we have, let's just keep it to the end of the class. I'll try my best to answer as much as possible. So just jot them in the chat, end of the class, or as we go, I'll answer them. So clarity. So now when another design UI principle, not design principle, UI principle, clarity. So now you want your interface to be easy to understand and navigate. Every element should be intuitive and no ambiguity in its function. You don't want it to be too cumbersome. You want them to know what they are doing. Like, why take the energy to confuse people? It's not needed. So just make things simple, have rest of mind, let your users have rest of mind. So instead of trying to dump so much information, try to look at ways you can shrink the information or represent it. Maybe instead of writing everything, use a picture, or instead of putting everything listed, you can use like a drop down, things like that, or maybe like an accordion that is collapsible to just compress everything. So you want it to be clear, and then most importantly, you want we'll still enter simplicity too. You want them to understand what they are doing. So even if it looks simple, like we can actually see everything we want to do I actually understand what this icon means, or do I actually understand maybe what to do? Like it might look simple, but I might still be confused. Where should I click? What should I do? So you want to use simple words. I mean layman's, because again, accessibility, you want this to be like as accessible to as many people as possible. And then you want something that someone can easily just think and figure it out, and then easy to navigate. If I'm scrolling down, if I'm scrolling up. So probably you know how a navigation bar, like the top bar, will be going down with you as you're scrolling, so that you don't have to now start scrolling up again before you can click on home or click on about us. So those things help. So that's clarity. And I think I've merged it with simplicity too. Simplicity, these two are literally the same website. The left was, I don't know what happened to them, but the right is when they figured out what happened to them. So the left, everything is just everywhere. I can't even sit down and stop. Like I'm not going. It's not a course. It's too much. But on the right, there's a clearer view that okay, this is what I'm searching. This is what the app even does. This is the button call to action to get started, and everything is laid out clearly. And then I can actually use it to get done what, like the service it offers. So you're keeping it minimal, free of clutter to enhance usability. And yes, less is more. There's some cases where less isn't more, but then by the time you understand how the principles work and how the rules of design work, it's easy for you to find the balance. But yes, less is more. And then most importantly, focus on essential elements. There's no need for you to over explain. I came on WhatsApp knowing it can send message. You don't need to give me a tutorial on how to send messages. Just take me straight to how I can send a message and let's be done with it. So whatever is not needed, you can remove it or create a different flow for it. And then also focus on the call to action. What action do you actually want your users to take or make? And then keep it minimal, free of clutter to enhance usability. So let's go to the next one. So we have feedback. So feedback, when we hear feedback, we might be confused with maybe a survey or someone telling me, oh, your app is good, your app is not good. But there's actually a feedback in UI. So you know how you click on something and there's this rolling that is loading. So you can wait and be like, okay, it's loading, or there's no network. Or you know how you send a message on WhatsApp. Some of us have turned it off, but it's okay. I'm one of them though. how it will put the blue tick that okay, it has been sent and it has been read. So it didn't necessarily put the word read, but those two ticks. I think there was a time on WhatsApp they actually did put the word read, but now they just replaced it with two ticks. So once you see it on gray, you know it has been sent, or one tick means it has been sent, and two ticks probably means it has been delivered, and two ticks and it's blue means it has been read. So you see how you're getting feedback on your message without actually them calling you that, oh, so and so has received your message, so and so has read your message. Like we're already getting the feedback on the message I sent. So if it's on just one tick, I can say, oh, probably I have network issues, or the person has network issues, or the person's phone is switched off. When I see two ticks, I'm like, okay, the person's phone is on but hasn't read it. When I see blue, I'm like, oh, the person has read it. So that's how feedback works. They are visual or auditory cues. So it could be a sound. If some of you use the iPhone or Apple laptop, when you connect your charger, there's this sound it makes. And maybe for some any device, there's some device, maybe when you click it makes a sound, or maybe on TV when you turn it on it makes a sound. So those are like auditory cues. Visual cues, your screen comes, oh, welcome to so so and so, or loading, like the example here, or it could be as subtle as the send, but you actually understand what it means. So that's literally feedback. So confirmation messages, highlighted, selected options, hover, as little as hover. When you hover maybe a button and the color changes, it shows you that your mouse is actually there. So when you are clicking and it's not working, it's not going to be confused. So either when you click, you can see the loading, or when you hover, you can know, okay, my mouse is on it. So imagine if the hover function is not there and my mouse is not on it and I'm clicking, I'll feel it's not working, but I know it's working when I can see the color change. And then I know whatever I clicked on is loading when I see the loading bar, or I can see like the words loading beside it, and I'm okay. So those are the way, that's literally the way feedback works. So let's move on to the next one. We have accessibility. So I think I explained this in the last session I took. You want to include as much as many people, people with disabilities, people with yes, people with disabilities, people with maybe color blindness, people that have big hands. Like I'm sure we've seen those men that their hands are big, even maybe women too. People that maybe they can't see little words. Yes, vibrating to things like that. So people that can't see little words, you want to make it as accessible as possible. So now let's look at the example. The button on the left is okay, but the button on the right is bigger and longer. So let's imagine someone has a small hand, or someone cannot see small things. It will be beneficial for the person for the button on the right. And the good thing about the button on the right is both someone that can see near and far can see it, and then someone with a big and a small hand can touch it. So it just solves everybody's, like solves more people's problem than the one on the left. And then if we look at the one down, sorry about this, if we look at the second set of buttons, the first one, if we look closely, you can see that the buttons are close together. So someone with big hands might be selecting two buttons at the same time, even if he wants to select one. But the one on the right has more spacing in between. So it's easier to select an individual one. So that's where accessibility in UI design comes in. So yes, there's the UX design accessibility and there's the UI design. So you're being considerate, you're letting your app being able to be used by so many people. So there's color contrast, there's text size, there's keyboard navigation, there's, apart from color, you can also put like a shape. So someone that is color blind will be able to see the shape and say, oh, something has changed here. So that's you being accessible. And the last one is visual hierarchy. I think Esther treated this a bit in the last class. So visual hierarchy is arranging elements in a way, but then in UI is arranging elements in a way that prioritize important information. So you are guiding the user's attention, and as we all know, we well, for English speaking and English reading people, we read from left to right. I think Arabic reads from right to left, and then maybe Chinese too. But for English, we read from left to right. So when we're displaying information, and then also definitely if you are building an app for an Arabic app, we should take note of that, that the button won't be on the right, the button will be on the left if it was going to be on the right in an English app. So those are other things you also should note as well. That's they are being accessible to the Arabic culture. So probably when they click on switch to Arabic page, the page should actually rearrange to suit how they read for it to be accessible. But visual hierarchy is just understanding what comes first. Do you want them to see the picture first? Do you want them to see the icon first? And this also depends on the goal of the app. What is the most important thing? And then also arranging in such a way that, okay, this is the flow of getting what I want. So first I probably read what the app is about, and then I take an action. Beautiful. It's different from I'm reading what the app is about, I'm reading about us, and then I have to scroll like three screens before I see where to take an action. That's bad hierarchy. So, and then you can achieve this through your text color. You can achieve this through positioning, alignment, color, and size. All right, so let's move on to the. So now we're done with the UI principles. So maybe before I go on, I'm sure and I hope we're not lost. If you can just one or two people just say what they've learned, and then I'll move on to the next phase. Okay. Just one or two people, just say what have you learned? What are the UI principles before we go on to UI elements? Can someone list it for us? There are six of them. Let's see people that are listening. Okay, clarity, good. Simplicity, all right. I see a lot of people learned about consistency. All right, feedback. What else? Clarity, consistency, feedback. Okay, accessibility, visual hierarchy. There's one more. Consistency. Okay, so consistency, clarity, simplicity, feedback, accessibility, and visual hierarchy. Amazing. So let's move on to UI elements. What are UI elements? Everything that makes up UI, literally, it is that. No takeaway or anything. Whatever you see on your screen and you are seeing on your screen is a UI element. But let's be more specific to how it works and how they come together. So we're going to be treating the popular ones because we can't treat everything, but let's start from there. So what are UI elements? They are components or parts of a digital interface that users interact with. Most importantly, I know I said everything, but most importantly, interact with to navigate or control an application or website. They play a crucial role in how users experience and engage with the interface. Examples are buttons, input fields, checkboxes, radio buttons, drop-down menus, sliders, toggles, icons, links, everything. Progress bars, forms, cards, navigation bars. So yes, what you see are elements, but most importantly, and what we'll be choosing today, are elements that the users actually interact with. So, what do I interact with? I interact with buttons. That's the most popular one. I interact with checkboxes. Checkboxes. So you know how you click a checkbox and it to change and it's not change, like those type of things. I interact with inputs. I literally type something. So it's not just that I'm not just seeing information. I'm able to give information and I'm able to control the application to get things done. So those are the UI elements, and I will be going into them. So, what are the common UI elements? We have icons. We all know what icons are, or we can learn what icons are. Icons are small graphical representations of actions or content. So, for example, now a trash icon for delete, a I think a paper plane for send, um, What can I use? Okay, scroll for settings. These are icons, and there are things we can relate to in real life. The way how microphone uses a literal microphone icon, or uses a literal microphone to represent itself. So these are like small. So now they are graphical representations, yeah, they're images. There's but imagine WhatsApp now having an image of a microphone, having an image of someone sending a letter through mail, having an image of someone holding a sticker. Like, how would everything fit? How will you even see the image clearly? Because it has to be small. So that's why icons come in to make life easy. So you could just represent that plane instead of using a big plane of, I don't know, airpiece or something. You could just have a small plane icon, and then wherever we see it, we know it's airplane mode or an actual plane. And then when we see the battery too, we know, okay, this is a battery. Yes, Teniola, just how a mail is an envelope. And it looks like how mail was. I think while growing up, they used to send a lot of mails, but now it's like digital mails, not post office type of mails. So they just brought that in, and it's easy to like ease the generation to, okay, this is the digital version of the mail you're sending. So they use the same envelope outlook to represent it. They use the same alarm clock outlook. Like, you know, the alarm clock icon is actually um how alarm clocks used to look like back then. So that's it for icons. Then yes, smileys are also icons. Yeah, they are actually, because how many smiling people will you use? They are emotion icons. Yes, yes, literally. So then we move on to navigation bars. Navigation bars are used to find your way around the digital product. Mostly, in fact, even mobile and web, they are used for navigation. So in the web, which is the one represented here, is where, okay, I want to go home. I have the home icon. So now you see how we're applying icons. In literally all the navigations here are represented with icons and input boxes. So, and logo definitely, and whatever else. But then we can now see that at the bottom, you can zoom in your screen if needed. You can see how the home icon in LinkedIn represents home. Even see how the logo helps me understand that, oh, this is LinkedIn. And then we have the icon representing home. We have the icon representing maybe people or your users, or I'm sorry, your friends or followers and all. And then we have the bag for job, which is what they carry to office. You have like a message for, okay, someone saying a message and things like that. Same with Instagram, and then Facebook too. You can see like that video icon. You can see notification bell, things like that, like bell that they usually literally is the bell. So now icons coming into navigation. Navigations are used to find your way around. When you click on home, go to home. When you click on job, go to job. When you click on send or the send icon, go to messages. That's how it works. So moving on, we have cards. So cards are modular UI components that display content in a consistent and easily digestible format. And mostly some things you find inside a card are related to the title of the card. So for example now, and see, yeah, for example, product listings, and then even in the picture used, you can see my training. So whatever information I find in that box, I know is for my training. Your activity, I know whatever information I find there, like that chart that is saying 84% or whatever, is related to my activity. Offline training, so everything in each model or each card are like bits or blocks of information, and I know that whatever I find there relates to something, and then it's easy to digest the information instead of just listing everything like, okay, you're training at step aerobics, so your activity. Like by the time I've read like three, I'm already tired. But the way this is represented with pictures, colors, it's easy for me to digest and just, oh, this is the summary, let me move on, that type of thing. And then if we notice even the navigation too, so navigation is not just navigation bars, it could also be filters. It could also be maybe like now if you look in the picture in offline trainings, if you look at the bottom, I can say maybe if you click on like flexibility or endurance, is probably a different information, or to filter out probably flexibility and endurance something, maybe it's a log or so, and I can actually view information related to that. So that's another form of navigation. It's not just the basic headline or bottom home and whatever settings, things like that. So before I go into visual design is a really broad part. Let's do a recap. What have you learned about UI elements so far? Let me go back to the beginning. What have we learned about UI elements? Okay, so cards are like little blocks of information. Damnala asked if I can explain cards again. Cards are little blocks of information. Um, so I don't know if you've seen like a dashboard. So in a dashboard, instead of just having all information laid out, like there's so much information for so many things. Like let's say open now. There's information on transactions, there's information on services like buy airtime, buy data, view your history, like your transaction history. There's pay bills. You can't have everything there. Like you need to organize the data, and that also comes down to hierarchy as well. You need to organize the information that you're displaying, so they know that, oh, what I'm here for is to buy airtime, or what I'm here for is to send money to a friend, or what I'm here for is to view my transactions. So when you put them in cards or you put them in sections, so now you could have a platform like a dashboard that use literal cards, or you could have sections, and then it's easy to just deal with each block of information. And then wherever I see that layout or a consistent look of that, I can still link it to where I saw it before. So maybe I could have a section that, okay, subscribe or sign in or something. If I see it in another page, I can link that, okay, this is the same button to subscribe, or this is the same button to do so, so, and so. And everything is just easy to digest. All the information is organized, and I can see more at the same time. Like, see how much I'm seeing in this small space. Imagine if I have to start writing them as big as this, like, everyone will just be confused. I'll not even understand what's going on. So that's how cards work. So the announcement, sorry, the attendance rather, or this is an announcement for the attendance. So for your attendance, please see the link at the bottom of the video, or the description of the video. You know how they say look down below. I'm happy to do that. So yeah, just go to the description. You see the link to take your attendance. Please do that because your attendance matters for this class. So yes, thank you very much. Do we have any questions before we go on a break? Okay, good. UI elements help users find their way around an application or website. Good. And it's also used to take actions on the website. And definitely, thank you, Adebayo. There's no UI without the UI elements which the user can use to navigate. All right, with that being said, I'll just run through everything again when we join back, and then we'll go on to visual design. Was it? I think this is a bit late to ask that, Josu. What's the difference between graphic design and product design? Graphic design is more on visual communication, while product design is digital products. So graphic design is like communicating through maybe a flyer, a poster, um anything really, a Instagram post, print, a book cover. But product design is something you actually interact with, and then it's a digital product that solves a problem. Yes, graphic design solves a problem in communication, but product design is a product that solves a problem to the user's need. Like, okay, I want to send a message. You can't use a graphic design to send a message. You need a product like WhatsApp to send a message. So product design is designing the WhatsApp to send a message, while graphic design is probably announcing that there is a product you can use to send messages. I think that's the best way to put it. And one is more technical, while more is more creative. But they both are technical if you look at it, because graphics is not just art. It actually has to deliberately communicate. It also takes into consideration hierarchy, visual arrangement, colors, and so much more. I hope that answers your question. All right, thank you. everyone. Um, all right, so just to clarify for the attendance, regardless, just fill the attendance as you're on this call. You're meant to still fill the attendance. Like it doesn't matter if I mean it's not for if you missed, still fill the attendance. So that is the link for it. All right, so let's continue. We'll be continuing with visual design, and there's a short quiz after this class. I'm excited as you are. Don't worry, it's not hard questions, so we'll get right to that. So let's continue. What is visual design? Yes, so see the video description for the attendance link for this class. It has been updated. Check the description link for this video for the attendance of this class. So let's just wait a bit for everyone to settle. So the link for those who missed the class is the same as attendance link. Use it to mark your attendance for this class now. All right, so let's continue on our learning. I'm sure you're all excited as I am. We're making progress. So let's continue. So, what is visual design? Does any one of us just want to attempt the description of visual design? Do any of you just want to attempt the definition of visual design? Yeah, imagery, color, shapes. Victoria, visual design is the use of imagery, color, shapes, typography, and form to enhance usability and improve user. That's very good. I'm impressed. That is actually very, very good. I mean, okay. All right. Does any other person or do any other person want to just attempt the description of visual design? All right. So I hope you won't be too distracted. Okay, good. So visual design is the use of are you guys going to Google? Why is your definition the same? I suspect all of you. All right, so let's continue. So visual design is about enhancing usability through aesthetics. So now we've talked about the functional part of UI. Do you get? We've talked about the functional parts of UI. So now I'm moving into the visual part of UI. So definitely, even when we're interacting with the products, we want to get a goal done or we want to achieve a goal. And then, yes, achieve the goal, but it's nice if it is fine too, because when it's easy to read, it's not heavy on the eyes. I'm actually happy. Like, we'll get into color theory and color psychology. There are some colors and there are some shapes that would invoke this happiness in you, or there are some pictures or there are some ways things are represented that you just look at this design and feel like, wow, like this is professional, or this is very good, or this is quality, or this is just the thing I need right now to just solve my problem. So that's like where visual design comes in. So yes, as much as we have a functional user interface, we also want to have a visually appealing user interface. We want something that is fine. And we look at this picture here. As like apart from the fact that I can use this mobile application to shop for cosmetics, I can also see the visual design to communicate that okay, it's for women and children. I see the way they use illustrations to just put that yellow in that okay, yes, you just dropped by, just pick something up before you leave, and then you're just loving the whole aura around it. So that's what visual design does. So yeah, basically. So let's move on. So, what are the key principles of visual design? I'll try to explain it as much as I can, but because we don't have pictures here, but I'm sure you'll understand it. So, the principles of visual design, first is the visual hierarchy. We've kind of mentioned that in the principles of um, UI design. Yeah. So, visual hierarchy, the way elements are arranged on a design is very, very important. um Definitely, as we read left to right, also we could have an image at the left explaining whatever is on the right. I think we have an example. Let me see if I can show you. We have an example here. If you look at the visual, literally this, if you look at the visual hierarchy, like this picture kind of describes that. So the picture on the left is describing the image on the right. So now we've gone through the hierarchy functionalities that okay, call to action button should be at the bottom. But then let's also look at the aesthetics of it. Okay, this one has a picture. So whatever picture we've chosen on the left describes what is on the right before I now make an action. So take for example a bank application. You probably see like a businesswoman, the default businesswoman that is always holding a book inside an office. Then you see her, and then you see welcome to the banking app, and then you see the description, and then you see login or download our app. So that's kind of how it works. And then if we move on to the next one, we have emphasis. So to have emphasis, that's literally what do you want out of everything to stand out, like what do you want on your screen to stand out the most. So is it the button, is it the text, is it the table, like what exactly do you want to stand out? Because as much as you're doing a design, as much as you have a functional design, it also has to communicate. So emphasis could be color. So imagine like everything is black and then one spot is red or one spot is yellow. Your eyes will automatically go there. Or maybe you want them to see that this is a banking app. So you put banking in like capital letters and bold and yellow or red. So they cannot miss it, like unless you are blind. So that's kind of emphasis. And it can be used creatively in visual aesthetics too and visual design. So you use contrast, you use colors, you use placements either to highlight critical elements or a primary call to action button. So that's where emphasis comes in. And that's why kind of like see an example here when the image, I think it was at the beginning. Okay, here. When you can see all the white, but we can see a red, and our eyes goes to the red, and we can see sign up. So all in one workspace. Okay, this is an all in all workspace. Notion, beautiful. And then what is the call to action? Sign up. And then out of all the black and whites, the only red is the sign up and this personal. So these two are like the two things, and it's smaller because this is more important. Like the sign up button is more important than the one in the personal in the navigation. So that's like an example of emphasis. And then we go to the third one, um, balance. So balance using visual weights evenly across the interface. So it could be symmetrical, it could be asymmetrical layout. So symmetrical is everything is aligned like left and right. So maybe look at a circle. You can symmetrically cut a circle into four. But let's look at a cloud. You cannot cut a cloud into even four sides. Or let me use a house. Depending on the shape of the house, you can cut the house into two. But if the house that maybe this side is like circle, like maybe has this big roof that is circle, and on this side the roof is square, and on this top there's like this umbrella, you cannot cut it evenly. So that's an asymmetrical layout. So bringing it back to design, you want to distribute your the weight, even if it's not like left right left right left right, you still want to find the balance that okay, if three are here, three should be here, or if three are here and almost finishing the space, let me balance it here that okay, maybe I'll put two big ones and one small one, or they can be like four small ones and one big one, just to find the balance. And then we can say okay, we put everything on the scale, we have five, we put everything on the scale, we have five. I hope that like I really hope you're not confused. So something like this design too, you can see the balance, the way everything is just stacked straight. It's not confusing. Even if we look at the left where we have the product images, you can see okay, each card has the product name, and then both left and right are like stacked evenly, and then you can see the line in the middle. Same for the middle one, you can see everything is horizontal, stacked horizontally. It's not one is horizontal, one is now left, one is now right. Even the one that they separated in the middle section that is like left and right is still taking that horizontal shape even in its division. So that's how balance works. Not that you say, oh, I want to be the next damn which artist do we have now, and you say I'm going to create a new law, my own balance is this one should be horizontal, then this one will be vertical, and then nothing will be here. Like when they now come on the page, it's like what was going on, or you even think okay, is it a glitch, not knowing that's the actual design. So it's important to have balance in visual design. And then same with alignment. If it's going to be left aligned, you want everything left aligned. If it's going to be center aligned, you want it center aligned. It's going to be right aligned, it's going to be right aligned. It's going to be maybe justified, maybe everything is in a box, or everything is a rectangle, or however you want it to be. Really, you want to be consistent too with that. So not that you start designing, you start with left aligned, middle you now say, oh, I feel like putting center aligned, then at the bottom you say I want to put right aligned. Like you just create confusion, and then when they are reading, it's difficult for them to actually understand, because the brain is already used to maybe read from left to right, and then it's now coming down again and it's like right to left. Like by the time they get to the bottom, they already have headaches. So you want to keep it simple, you want to keep it intuitive, like straight to the point, easy to read, easy to understand. And alignment is not just text, it's also the elements. Like the last design we saw, everything was center aligned. It's not okay, left aligned. Like if it's going to be left, Kuku put everything left. It's going to be right, let everything be right. You need consistency in your design, or find the balance. So if you say okay, I want to put center aligned, maybe you put like graphics around it to make it still maintain the shape of left aligned. Or maybe okay, maybe for example now everything is left aligned, or everything is center aligned. Okay, everything is center aligned, I want to put something left aligned. So maybe you could put the text left aligned and an image at the right to just balance and maintain that center alignment, even if the text is left aligned. So that's a way you can, find the balance in everything. And then contrast, we saw the example of contrast, which is a way of making emphasis. So emphasis and contrast is used to make emphasis. Emphasis is literally like creating contrast. So but they're not the same thing. So emphasis means you want something highlighted, you want something to stand out. What contrast does that is not just that, it's also like if you are reading, like for example, the background is white, the text is black, that's contrast. You don't want the background to be gray. Now you're not necessarily emphasizing it, that's the normal text of the application, but you need contrast so people can actually read what is on the website, or what is on the website. So difficult sorry clearly, we now have the case where, for example, if the background is gray, you cannot make the text black. Even if you can see it, not everybody can see it. And to be honest, if you tell yourself the truth, you yourself cannot easily read it. So if you want to make the background white, the text should be, sorry, if you want to make the background white, the text should be black or gray or whatever, but easy for me to read. If you want to make the background black, then the text should be white or whatever shade, but easy to read. Same with icons. Your icon, if you say, oh, I want to be creative, and you say, okay, let the background be red, let the inner one maybe be blue, red and blue, maybe the same dark red and same dark blue, it will be difficult for me to read, like look at or recognize. But when you there's enough contrast, I can say, oh, this is a white icon on a red background. Now it's easy for me to understand it. It's easy for me to differentiate it. So that's how contrast is. So it's different from emphasis. Emphasis says out of everything, even though there's enough contrast for me to understand everything that is showing on the page, this is what I want you to look at most of all. While contrast is, let me even be able to see everything that is on the page. So moving on to the next slide. Proximity. So grouping related elements together to indicate they belong in the same category. So these are form labels placed close to input fields. So let's take for example Google search. You saw how the search button, okay, maybe I shouldn't use that. Um Okay, so basically, it's how, okay, we can use the cards. Perfect. Let me see if I can show you the cards here. Okay, so the cards proximity. So how far or how near? How far or how near? You can see the my training on the top left. My training is close to step aerobics, fitness basics. It's far from this thing 48 that is on the right. So in my mind, I've already grouped everything on the inside that card as one. And then I can easily group everything in activity, your activity as one, because I've seen the arrangement on the first one. So with the consistency in the way the header is set, like my training, offline trainings, your activity, all of them are consistent. And then the consistency of the shape of the this thing of the card for all of them, I can easily understand that okay, these are different groups of data, and whatever I see inside this data, the header is like what explains it, or it's related to the header. And then because it's close to it, I can literally confirm that truly it is related. Now it would be bad if I put okay, maybe my training, and then maybe beside I what do you call it, I put maybe the chart of that 84%, and like if I mix everything up and I'm not really giving space between them, I'll think all of them is the same information, but they're actually different information. If I say okay, let your activity be at the top, let training be down, but because there's no space for activity, let it join beside training, like it will just be confusing and I'll not be able to easily differentiate. So how close things are to each other, my mind automatically groups them, and your mind and everybody's mind automatically groups them. But when they are farther apart, I'm like, okay, it's different information. So that's kind of how proximity works. Same with input too. Like the search bar now, you know, the default search, okay, even see the labels too, because the text is close to the icon, I can say okay, this is the text describing this icon. And even input, you know, the input where they'll be like, okay, maybe put your password, you know, before we start put your password inside the search bar like it is in the navigation bar, before it's probably be like maybe in a form. Now it will be like on top. Because it's on top, I can easily say that oh, this is the label for this. So if I see another input, I won't be confused like oh, is this one for this um my name, or is this one for password? Like it's easier for me to like okay, these are close together, so this is group, this is one information. These are close together, this is group, this is one information. So that's how proximity works. So yeah, and then white space, breathing room. Remember the that picture that has like white and red Notion website. The space around created breathing room. Even Google search, the space around created breathing room. Because you have a lot of information doesn't mean everything has to be in the same place. And because there's breathing room, it's easy for me to like identify each information. Like I'm not confused. I'm not tired. It's easy for me to look at one thing at a time. Look at one thing at a time. I don't have to like try to look at everything and be confused, or look at everything and just be tired. So Exactly, Bukola. Visual designs, they have to be visually usable. So um when you look at something that has enough white space, they'll say minimalist. Yes, there's minimalist design and there's even normal design, but let it have breathing. Not that text will stretch out to the end of the screen and then there's no room for you to even process. Like you're reading from beginning to end. Like before you even come back, you're like, "Ah, I'm not even reading, you just scroll up." Or maybe image is like taking here, then text, then image, then text, and then you have to be squinting that where does the image stop and the text start, or where does the text stop and the image start. So white space, you just give it breathing space. Like let me even see what I'm reading, let me understand what I'm reading. And then the last one is simplicity. So simplicity is where you remove unnecessary elements to keep the interface focused and easy to navigate. So I treated this in the UI design principles, and simplicity is basically like, if it's not needed, remove it. If it's like you've already said send, you don't need to write to send, click the button below. Like you can already see a button that has send clearly written on it. So you can remove the to send, click the button below. Like just keep it simple. I don't have to read like 10 files telling me to send when I can literally just send. So unnecessary things can be removed. Maybe an icon and a text and a picture. Like choose one. If it's icon you want to use icon. If it's picture you want to use picture. If it's text you want to use text. If it's text and icon, there are cases like that, use that. Maybe an icon people are not used to, you can use that. But now that you put text, icon, picture, like it will be too much, it will be cumbersome, it might not even come out well, and it's like I just came here to send a message. Like that's literally why I'm here, you understand? So you need to keep your design simple. So let's go through that again. Simplicity, keeping it simple, white space, preventing clutter, giving yourself breathing room, proximity, grouping related elements together. If it's not related, put it apart or put it in a different section. That's for proximity, because our minds automatically group things that together. Then contrast, differentiate elements through color, size, typography, and making information stand out, important information stand out. So contrast can create emphasis, but contrast is not always emphasis, because contrast is literally everything. Like so I can separate different elements, or I can separate different parts of the UI design I'm interfacing with. Then alignment is giving everything a clean and organized look, and this is not limited to text, it's also pictures and pictures, icons. You can align your icons as well. It's everything really. Alignment cuts across board, and it's true alignment can even create hierarchy. And then balance, just balance the visual weight evenly. Don't put one on the left than the right, or the right than the left. Let everything be balanced. So even if you want to like change the style, create something to still house the balance. So maybe for example, like a picture is taken is bigger than the text, and to reduce the image might not fit well, you can say, okay, let me add like a maybe a color or a card just to balance the image, so that maybe now the text is not just standing alone, the text is standing in like a colored card, and then beside each other they are balanced, even if it's normally not balanced. So you can just look at ways can create the balance. And then visual hierarchy, that's the alignment of elements to guide the user's attention to the most important parts of the interface. Yeah. So now we're having a quiz. So I don't know, should we take questions before we do the quiz, or do the quiz before we take questions? I think we should do the quiz before we take questions, because um questions can take a long time. So this is the link, this is the ID for it. Go on Slido, Slido. Um, Let me just explain that to you. So you can either scan the current the QR code that is on your screen right now, or you can go to Slido, SLID, or just type Slido on Google, and then through that you can put in this ID and just wait, and then I'll start the quiz. The link will be put in the chat. So someone asked, can white space be referred to as gutters? No, it cannot. White space is different from gutters. Gutters is more of space between elements. So I'll say more of spacing. And if I'm not wrong, I think that's between texts, but it's more of spacing. White space is around, like, let me look for an image already in the presentation. So even everything, like you can see this now on the left, at the top, at the bottom, on the right, you can see there's like space. The my training is not starting from the curve of the left. If I move into this, let me see the website that I put here. See now, see, this is the perfect example. You see how the website on the left, everything is so close together. I'm finding it hard to differentiate information. I'm even finding it hard to group information. Everything is just in my face. But then on the right, you can see the breathing room, like the breathing room around the logo, the breathing room around the navigation. Even this one, I can't even see the navigation, talk less of know where it is. On the right, I can see the breathing room around the text, the breathing room around the image, the breathing room around the different sections. Like on the left, you can see how they squeezed all the email, web hosting, everything is just squeezed together. But on the right, I can, okay, so SSL certificates, GoDaddy mail marketing, like it's separated. I can actually read it and digest it than just why is everything there. So now maybe you can say gutter is the distance between the image and the text and the button, but it's not the same as the space from the edge of the website to the text, if that makes sense. So white space is the space all around. It's just like giving everything breathing room, like giving everybody their own space, like their own section, instead of just, oh yeah, all the information be on the page. So I think that's the best way to explain it. And it's used in grids, while white space is used in design. They both relate to spacing, to be honest. Like they actually both relate to spacing, but they're not the same. Okay. So let's go back to, okay, so now I'm going to start the have we all gotten to the sorry, I left. I just went to explain that. So let's all scan this link. We've not started the quiz yet, so just join, put your name, then I'll start the poll, and then we can have the quiz. Yes, you can use your phone to do it. Literally just scan or go to Slido, SLIDO, then put this as your ID. The link will be attached to the chat, so you can click there as well. All right, are we out there? Just signify. Are we out there? If you are there, just signify. All right. Okay, so the quiz has been dropped. The code, in case you just go to slido.com, the code is there too. All you have to do is just scan or put the ID in Slido, SLIDO.com, or SLIDO on Google, and then it's the first option, really. Yes, no active polls at the moment. I just want everybody to join before we start because it's timed. It's 1 minute, or it's less than 1 minute per question, but it's about 1 minute per question though. So we'll just have to be patient. So this is 8:35. So by 8:36 or 8:37, I'm going to start the quiz. If you have any question, please let me know before we start. All right, good. Yes, I haven't started the quiz yet. All right, so I think we can. Okay, let me keep to my word. Let's just wait a bit. Let's wait for others to join. You can just scan the link on your screen right now. All right. So I hope everyone is on their screen. And then starting now. So the first question is up. It locks in 30 minutes. I'll be 30 seconds. So let's start answering. Let's start answering the first question. Go back, answer the first question, and then second will come up. I see we all found this one easy. So the last question. Remember, it's just 30 seconds. All right, so that's it. The answer showed in the quiz. Woo! Can I even see? I think I can check the people that won. Oh, is Emmy? Emi came first. I'm loving this. Olabumi Okedim. Okay, you guys. A lot of people were not able to take it. Do you want to take it again? We still have about 20 minutes. I'm loving this. A lot of people are able to. You want to take it again? All right. So remember, 30 seconds. So whoever hasn't joined, please join now. This is the last one. It's about 2 minutes to do the entire quiz. For people that finished well. I am happy for you. So if you want to do the quiz again, you and the people that haven't joined, Mary, some haven't done it at all. So people that haven't done, let's do it again. So if you haven't done, this is your last chance, literal last chance, and then we'll take questions and then we'll call it a day. And then we'll be meeting next on Wednesday and on Friday. So on Wednesday, we're going to be doing introduction to Figma. And on Friday, we're going to be talking about branding, color, typography. So let me just take the interaction again for those that just want to take it again or were not opportune to do it the first time. So it's up. Oh. And the last question is this. So just to go through the answers, first one is UI design, white space is to declutter, and let me okay, let us finish first. Okay, so we're done. All right, so just to go through it, what's the purpose of white space? To prevent clutter and create breathing room for elements. And then third one is which principle helps us understand which elements are most important in an interface by guiding their attention to size, color, or positioning. That's hierarchy. That's hierarchy. Then the last one is, yeah, that's it actually. Okay, which principle focuses on ensuring that design elements such as buttons and fonts remain consistent? I put that small, will I say, hint across all screens in a product. Consistent, so that's consistency. So I see 88% of us got that. So if you have any questions, let's ask them now. Congrats, Esther. So just to know, design is not just about making things look good, it's about making things work well. So it looks good and it works well, and it works well and it looks good. So I don't know if you've gosh, I play too much. But I don't know if you've seen this TikTok trend or this Instagram trend I like now, collabo, like they both go together. So it's not just making it look good, it's also making it work well. So the fact that you can get the job done and it also looks good while you're getting the job done. So thank you all so much. Remember, if you have any questions, please put it in the chat and I would attend to them. So can anyone what just tell us what they've learned? Because I don't think, let me not forget that. If there's anything you've learned, just let me know. What have you learned so far from the design principles to the visual principles to the design elements? What have you learned? What did you come to understand? What new thing did you just see or know? I mean, you might have thought product design is graphic design. Did I help you clarify that? So just tell me one or two things you've learned. Okay, hierarchy. Hierarchy is in the order of importance of how things appear. So basically, if you want them to see something on your screen, maybe the call to action now, maybe get started or register or sign up or buy a product. That's the most important thing. So everything leading up to that point is how you arrange your information. So where would the image be? Where would the text be before you see the main thing? Or what comes first? So that's literally the hierarchy. So it's like, how do I put this? Like a pyramid. I won't say a pyramid, but like a pyramid. You want to get to the top, but now in this case, we're coming down from the top. So maybe you land. What do you want to see? You go down. What do you want to see? You go down. What do you want your users to see? And then also, if it's not a website, if it's like a web application now, like WhatsApp, hierarchy, order of importance. Maybe I should use that word. Hierarchy is like the order of importance. So, um, order of importance. Okay. So, WhatsApp, for example, what's important? Sending a message. So it's important I see who I'm sending a message to, brings us to the list of people. And then also, I know now I can say, okay, I want to see unread messages, I want to see read messages, or I want to see status. So that's what kind of creates the navigation. So, but before I get to the navigation, the first thing I want to do is send a message. So you won't come on WhatsApp and the first thing you're seeing is status, because that's not the main point of using WhatsApp. I come there because I want to contact somebody. If I now want to go and see status, I can now use the navigation to go and see status. And then how it's arranged, like from the first top bar, because we have the top navigation and then we have the bottom navigation and then we have the actual content, which are the people for sending messages. So I hope that explains hierarchy. So it's not in black and white. It depends on what you're creating, it depends on the application or website, and so many other things in between. Thank you. Thank you guys so much. You're also nice. My name is Olua Shikemi, like Sekemi. But yes, you can reach out to me on LinkedIn. Thank you all so much. I had so much fun teaching this class. I can't wait to be with you guys on Wednesday. I'm so sorry for joining late, but I'm sure we all had a nice time. Thank you all so much. If you still have any questions, feel free to reach out. Sorry for the guys that got 1/4, 0/4, but I mean, don't worry, there's still room for growth, improvement, and maybe it was the timing, you never know. So, yeah, I think we've come to the end of this class officially. Any other information will be communicated to you by our beautiful coordinators. I wish you the very best. Bye bye. Oh, gosh. Allow me to go. Okay, proximity. Right? Proximity. So proximity is how close or how far things are. It's literally how a mind groups things. There's actually like a whole breakdown, or like it's deeper than just that, but it's just assumed that things that are put close to each other are part of a group. So for example, a text box now, because the label is there, the input field is there, and even, okay, let's even look at a form. I believe everything in a form is part of the form because all these inputs are close together. if it's not in a form, or maybe there's no rectangle to say this is a form, I might, okay, still think they're close together because they are not far from each other. Like your username is not far from input your password, is not far from click enter to log in. So I assume they're all together. So I know when I input, this is the button I'm clicking on. But if I put maybe at the top left of the screen, input your username, and at the bottom, I put enter your password, I might never even see that enter your password or think it's the same password for that username. In my mind, I might think, oh, that username is to search or to customize my name or to name my file. It will never occur to me that this is a form because they are far apart. But when they are close together, it's easy for me to recognize that, oh, this is a group, this is a form, this is the button I'm supposed to click on, this is the field I'm supposed to fill. So that's how so how far things are or how close things are, your mind groups them together, and then you can apply this in different ways when you're going about your design. I'm happy to hear that blessing on understanding visual design. All right. So in the absence of, well, we still have time though. Maybe I can still be here for like some more time. All right. If you have any questions, yes, there must be space in your work, Olagunju. If there is no space in your work, you'll see our example of that website, the former GoDaddy website. Is difficult to read, it's difficult to navigate, it's difficult to even know which is close and which is far, talk less of clicking. It will be like you need to, your work needs to have breathing room. So it's very important to space out your work, but not over space it. So there are actually measurements for this. We may or may not be able to dive into that during the course of the training, but there are measurements for spacing, for mobile applications, for web application. There are even text sizes you should use. There's what comes, well, there are rules, but when you understand the rules, then you can break the rules. But it's very important to evenly space out, applying hierarchy, applying alignment, applying balance when you space out your work, and even applying proximity as well. But yes, you should, there must be space in your work. Amazing, Ayo. The principles to be followed for perfect and appealing UI design. Good. All right. Um, I think I've explained proximity. Just go back on the slide. Or what exactly maybe are you finding confusing? Yes, Matthew. But yes, we should keep the design simple. Yes, Jemima, as a global product designer, the look and feel of any digital product is extremely important, and the aesthetics fosters a great overall user experience. Beautiful. That is very, very true. I'm glad you guys enjoyed this class. I did too. Thank you, Abiodun. Great work. Great work. So maybe while we're here, I can actually start on color psychology. I think that's one of my favorite subjects. Um, Color psychology is how people, thank you, how people perceive, like, communication, right? How you communicate with everything. You use text, you use colors, you use even pictures, icons, everything to communicate what's on your screen. The color can also affect how people perceive your work. So to get Figma, okay, maybe I should say this. In preparation for our next class, join Figma. Actually join Figma. Go to figma.com, register with your Google account or put in your email and password and create an account. It's online. You can download the application, but you can use the web version as well. So for the web version, you don't have to download it. You just have to have an internet connection. And even if when internet goes up, it can still work, but it's not saved until you have internet. So I think that's a benefit of Figma. So yes, please, against our next class, we'll be having an introduction to Figma. I'll be diving a bit more into UI, which would help us understand better when we do branding, color, and typography on Friday. So yes, can register with any mail. Any mail works. It's like an application basically. So any mail works. So it's just that it has an option to log in with Google. But if you don't have a Google account, use your normal account, put the password, and you're good to log in. So that's amazing. So just a sneak peek to our Wednesday class. Yeah, so color psychology is just how, how green, when we see green, our mind goes to money, our mind goes to agriculture. When we see red, our mind goes to danger. When we see like black, we might think, oh, this is something bad, or we might think luxury. So that's literally how colors can affect like how you perceive things or how you interact with things, or why you interact with things. All right. So attendance, there's a link for attendance below. So just please take your attendance. It's very important. Thank you all so much. And you guys are smart. I just have to give it to you. Like, hey, as if I'll be learning from you people, but okay, let's see. I'm actually really impressed. Keep up the good work. And for let me check the leaderboard again. For our top scorers, I can't promise a prize, but I'm definitely proud. So just keep it up. Yes, Abiodun, that's very true. Food places are usually orange, red, blue, orange, especially fast food. You see Domino's are red and white and blue. You see sorry, yellow, red. You see Burger King, yellow, red. You see KFC, red. You see Cold Stone, red and white. So red, yellow, blue. They are mostly with food brands. So that's true. All right, I'll see you all on Wednesday. Thank you all so much. Thank you all so much. All right, so good night, everyone, and have a blessed rest of the week. Bye bye.